you gonna say that? We starting off laughing. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you see this podcast, it is I, your girl, Jaquell, here. We're working out with Wanda podcast where we focus on the health, body, mind, and spirit. And our podcast is focused on the mental health and how it affects with the grieving aspect of it. I am so excited.
Girl.
Okay. I'm so excited for my guest on today. As I told you guys in the past few episodes that we're going to be bringing on guests to kind of give us a more understanding of the guilt, those that suffer with substance abuse, those that deal with or work with those that deal with substance abuse, domestic violence, things of that nature, and how it affects their mental health and also their grief. There's such a broad information that we're not educated on because we only see things on the surface level. So with me here, I'm going to do just a little snippet of her bio, if I can remember and don't jack it up. With us here, we have an amazing woman who's been working with the homeless population for almost 20 years. That's not giving her age.
Yes, you did.
We just gonna say you started when you was 18 then.
Okay.
She's been working with the homeless population for a good almost 20 years. She's an entrepreneur. She has the Wesley Consulting Solutions LLC, because I'm gonna check it up. I was about to say Wesley's LLC Enterprise. But on top of that, she's an amazing woman that is also a mentor. She has done so many things for our community and especially Milwaukee County, for various homeless shelters. And I'm so honored to have her as a guest on my show. She probably can give you more than that. And a sidebar, she's also an amazing singer and my best friend. So we're just going to give it up to Miss Akira, Wesley.
Can I stick to the script? Can you?
Oh, no, I didn't. I tried. They're really going to see me today. When you and somebody else, I had all the trials, I'm so excited. So, Miss Akira, can you please give us a synopsis of who you are and what drew you to working with those with mental health?
Well, I'm just a person who likes to help, and I just realized that my niche was housing and working with the homeless population. So that just stemmed from me being a child and seeing different things growing up. Family, whether it be family members or friends. My parents, they housed people in their home. We were just living in a 3-bedroom and a duplex, and we had other people living with us. So that's just been embedded in me since I was a child. And it just kind of grew into something. I didn't know that it would grow into this, because this definitely was not, my career goals. But here we are.
So the podcast here, we're on a part where we talked about anger, and we talked about how anger stemmed from the grief and the different phases of it, but now you bring on this guilt. And so you and I both worked with various homeless shelters, just the homeless population, and we saw so much. We saw people turn around.
Mm-hmm.
We saw some people that tried. We saw some people that just told us, I'm not changing, put me, because they know the system.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw others that wanted to get out, but did not know how to. Can you help us, for those that don't understand the population that we serve, the population that we work with, and what we do to try to help them get acclimated to a better life?
That was a loaded question.
I know.
That
Just
was
go
a
ahead.
lot. Um, so basically, we worked with the housing population, but their one of their barriers, or the biggest barrier, was mental health. So in doing so, there, you go through like the assessment piece, and you try to figure out like, okay, how can I help them? But more importantly, how can you help them help themselves?
Right.
Which has always and will always continue to be the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
When you working with people who are sometimes for the most part hopeless, or
Go sit down. So you did that on purpose. Go sit down. This is why I asked somebody to watch you. Tone. Yep. So go back to the part of the loaded question. 5, 4, 3. You get up again. I'm gonna embarrass you. Start over.
okay, where was I?
That was a loaded question.
That was a very loaded question. So working with individuals, first of all, let me go back a little bit. If you're working in a shelter, you are surrounded by people of different walks of life.
Yeah.
A lot of times you're not going to know that they are homeless unless they tell you. Then added on another piece, depending on how long they've been homeless, so that would be considered chronic, depending on the time and how many instances they've probably been out or counted
Mm-hmm.
in the city of Milwaukee for being homeless.
Right.
You deal with, okay, everybody wants a house, everybody wants to be housed, everybody wants this for the most part. Um, Actually going through the process is challenging
Mm.
for the person.
Yeah.
To house is easy. We've already developed the relationships, we have the funding, we know what to say, we know what to do. That's the easy part.
Mm-hmm.
But working with someone who don't believe that they can even get housed after all that they've been through,
Yeah.
that's where the real work comes in.
Yeah.
So, in doing all of that, trying to help them help themselves, it's challenging and it's a lot. And they have a lot of grief, a lot of insecurities,
Mm-hmm.
things that they never dealt with. People want to be reacclimated with family, but family don't want nothing to do with
No,
them.
burnt out.
Or they've been in so many programs
Yeah.
where they like, hey, can we just work with somebody else? So doing that, um, and trying to help them kind of navigate through all of
Yeah.
that in housing, then when you finally house them, then it's like, okay, what are we what are we about to
Yeah.
get into
Yeah.
next? Because a lot of times you'll see that, especially if you're not in a voucher, like a actual long-term voucher program,
Yeah.
you're gonna see them homeless again,
Again.
which is so unfortunate. Because as somebody who was doing the direct service, it's like, but you worked so hard to get here. And then it's like, well, no, I changed my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for some of us, like, we shooting ourselves in the foot because it's like, oh my God, was this a waste of time?
Mm-hmm.
We thought we was doing something good,
Yeah.
but a lot of other things wasn't being addressed along the way. You can only do so much
Mm-hmm.
as a housing person.
Right.
You can only do so much. We're not the therapist, although we may have to put on the hat to be a therapist. We're not the mom, although we may have to put on the hat to be the mom. We're not the big sister or the auntie or the uncle or whoever, that person has identified you as in that moment, to help them, to kind of get them through or coach them through.
Mm-hmm.
But, a lot of the results are great. So I don't want to discourage anybody from working with the homeless population when it comes to housing, because that's probably one of the toughest things. But that's just the reality that we live in.
And if I can just add to something that maybe you can touch on a little deeper, when we work together, we had some that will openly tell us that they suffer from mental health or they were diagnosed with mental health, and they, in the process of getting them housed, or even after we got them housed, them going through that grieving process of them losing everything to now gaining something. Um, can you kind of give us your perspective of how
Excuse me.
that that transition was for them? Because remember, we had people that had friends coming with them sometimes, or because of their mental health, they couldn't even sit in their place long because they will be overwhelmed. And a lot of them will recall so many things to their mind from their past.
Right. So, in the type of housing that we did,
Hmm.
you had to, for the most part, you had to live alone.
Yeah,
So the family that you developed along the way,
the community.
they
Yeah.
could not come with you. So your chosen family that you met while you were, let's just keep it real, out on the street,
Yeah.
you guys built a community together. Y'all
Mhm.
looked out for each other, and all of a sudden we about to snatch you out that environment that you have grown to be adapted to, and we finna put you in a place by yourself. I'm gonna say about 75% because you've seen it. It just
Hmm.
didn't work.
It wasn't for them.
It didn't work. So we had to start advocating for them to have their significant other or someone that they looked at as a brother or a sister or whoever in their
Right.
life
Right.
to live with them, because a lot of times they refused to be without them. They wouldn't take the place. Now, back in the day when I was doing this,
Yeah.
um, it was a little bit more easier because people understood, and um, it was, hey, you go to the shelter, you get in, or you get
Yeah.
into a program, you get in, you talk about housing, we move you in if
Right.
you're able,
Right.
if you show up.
Hmm.
Um, and what I saw, that wasn't the case. A lot of things changed. So people were demanding
Yeah.
to be with their partners. People were demanding, like, I don't want to leave my kid, or,
Yeah.
they were demanding.
Yeah.
And so we had to learn how to work together with other organizations,
Hmm.
other community partners on how we can make this happen,
Yeah.
for them so
Yeah.
they could be successful. Sometimes we put the couples together and it worked out.
Other times, not so much.
Yeah. the police were, the
Woo.
police were involved. But yeah.
I think that, um, and the reason why I wanted to talk about the homeless population is because I think we exclude them from grieving. I think we exclude them that they're, we assume, and I say as society assume that most people that are homeless because you choose not to work again, you choose not to do this, you choose not to do that. But working with the homeless population and actually being someone that was homeless, it's a whole different type of experience when you lose everything and you have nothing to stand on. And for the state of Wisconsin, if I'm wrong, correct me, even if you're living with someone
Hmm.
and your name is not on the lease, you're still considered to be homeless.
Hmm.
Um, and because of that, we think like, oh, I'm staying with a family member, I'm staying over here, I'm staying over there, that it's okay. You're still technically homeless, and I want to bring
Yeah,
that out there.
you're considered to be at risk.
Yeah.
So if you're not at risk, or it's either imminent risk or at risk,
Hmm.
not necessarily technically homeless according to HUD standards, but imminent and at risk. So if we're living together, your name is on the lease, but I'm just gonna be here, until I figure it
Figure it
out.
out
I'm at risk because you can put me out.
any day. Any day.
All right, that's
Okay.
enough.
Sorry.
Um,
I was going there. Felt it for somebody out there. I feel it. I feel it. Somebody about to get out.
Cut it out.
Okay.
Um, you could essentially put me out, and then I have to figure it out, and then just kind of going through the process. I won't name any organizations or anything like that, but
Mhm.
going through the process of trying to get on a list and trying to, go through the system and do it the right way. Sometimes doesn't render the results that you want, that you need right away.
Mhm. And as for me, I remember I was leaving a situation where they would consider domestic violence. And so trying to protect myself, to protect my child, trying to stay with family. Um, but according to, I guess, my case manager, well, if as they will call the abuser, if they knew where everyone else, that wasn't considered safe. So you had to go to a shelter. You had to go here. You had to go there. And I'm just like, can I just let me sleep in my car then, or let me just sleep when I go to work,
Right.
because I'm trying to find something that's going to somewhat make me not feel like I'm a horrible person because of what the seminar has said about people.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm bleeding on the inside because I really don't even know how to vocalize what I'm going through. Not only that, I lost my job. Like,
Right.
well, our job had just shut down and closed.
Hmm.
So, okay, how do we survive from that? Then you got the bills coming in. How do we survive from that? And it was like a domino effect. And then it's like, I'm still trying to be this great mom. I'm still trying to be this. I'm still trying to be that. I still want to get up every morning. And I manipulated, and I openly say that I manipulated my son day
Mm.
at that time. And I'm still trying to keep my head above water. I'm still trying to do the best things that I could. Did I have support from family and friends? Yes. But when you're still not, don't have your own door, your own key to open up, I understand the homeless population where this doesn't work for me, where I got to do a room and board, but that's all they can afford at that time. Or, you know, I go to the things that make me comfortable. I understand why they go back and resort to the drugs and to the alcohol, to the various substance abuses, because it makes them feel okay. It wasn't okay for me, and but the pride,
Hmm. I was gonna say that.
the pride of me
Yeah.
did not want people to be in my business,
Hmm.
because I felt like I can do this, I can make this, I can figure it out. But I was struggling
Hmm.
mentally, physically, emotionally. I got up, I worked, found another job, but I ended up working third shift.
Hmm.
So that was my way of trying to go to sleep at night. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Trying to. I don't work for that job no more. But I was sleeping. Your girl was getting it. Not it.
Right.
Lord, I hope them kids didn't run away because I was slobbing. Don't take me on the don't take me on the podcast.
Too late.
I just tell y'all, I would be so exhausted. So when I get off, I would get off work, and then to my child, he didn't know we was going to the gym in the morning. So I found me a little part time. Thank God for the YMCA.
Okay.
And I was their water aerobics instructor. So I would, you get free membership, but they also had showers and stuff there too. So I would get my son in the morning, his clothes and stuff. Because my third shift job also had a laundromat. So I was washing my clothes on third shift.
Girl.
Ooh, I'm telling them myself, I don't work for that no more. But I did all those things. I had to try to maximize my dollar because I wasn't getting money. And I learned from other people like, hey, you can do this, you can do that. Now, it wasn't right, but that's all I could. I didn't want people to know that I didn't have no place to stay. I didn't have money to afford for a laundromat, because at that time, you spending $5-10 to do your laundry.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I gotta still put gas in the car. The money from the YMCA was just gas to put back in my car.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm trying to figure out early in the morning. My child think we working out, we gonna have a good day. This was just me to make sure I can still take a shower. That we were, you know what I'm saying? That he was good. He was everything was gonna work out in the morning for him. I'm taking my shower stuff. He's just thinking like, oh, this is fun. And then while I'm getting ready to go somewhere, he thinking me spending the night at somebody's house was like, oh my gosh, we're spending the night. No, mommy was covering it up.
Mm.
Mommy did not have no place for us to sleep at night. Ooh, that's truth. Oh, okay. Well, let's get it out, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But that's truth. And I don't talk about, I'm a very private person, right? So for me, it felt different when I was helping the homeless population because I understood
Mm-hmm.
why they did what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was mental health and stuff. And then I didn't know that I was working through depression.
Mm.
I'm trying to hide. And like you
Right.
said, it was pride.
Right.
I probably, if I really been transparent and honest with different ones, I probably would have had more support,
Mm-hmm.
more help from different family and friends. But when you don't want people analyzing you, looking at you a certain way, or let's be frank, well, what happened?
Yeah. 'Cause
They
people wanna
built
know.
the homeless population built their own community because we don't ask all those questions.
Mhm.
You're my brother, you're my sister.
Mhm.
Yep. And they'll tell you they don't say that stuff from mental health. They say they crazy.
Mhm.
Leave him alone. He had his
Mhm.
beer. Leave him
Mhm.
alone. He's doing this. Leave him alone. They doing that.
Mhm.
And as a case manager, we would meet them where they were. If they was whether it was on Martin Luther King Drive, if it was over here, would they land in the sun?
Mhm.
Land because that's where they fell asleep at the night. And then when we try to put them in the house, I remember one of our favorites. He said, "Don't put me in Tulsa. Don't put me over here. Don't put me over there. I'm not going to go there. I want to be where my people are."
Mhm.
And even when we put him in the house, he just said, "I just don't feel
Mhm.
comfortable."
Yeah.
Is that something? I'm kind of transitioning right there. Is that a mind thing where they can't get past being housed, or is it too much for them to be housed?
Right. Well, I guess my question would be, is it normal to be housed?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm.
we're saying housing is a necessity, it is a basic need that everybody should have or have
Yeah,
access to.
absolutely, absolutely.
But we're talking about people, not just an emergency situation.
Right, right.
We're talking about people who have created a life in their situation,
Come on.
and we're trying to bring them to what we deem as normal.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've worked with people that have called themselves street rats and said that they belong to the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And I have housed them, and they never lived in their place.
They don't. They don't.
So I've always asked myself the question, okay, depending on how long and what's been going on in their life, putting them behind closed doors,
Yeah.
is that normal for them, for the
Mm-mm.
person?
Mm-mm.
There are people who love to live off the radar. They don't want people to know who they are. They don't want their name in no
Mm-mm.
system. They don't want to be accounted for.
No.
And they know how to strategically go to the meal places that's serving the meals, go to the food pantries
Yeah.
to get, a couple of items of what they
Mm-hmm.
need, and they
Mm-hmm.
figure out how to cook it, how to make it,
Mm-hmm.
or, you know, use what they got to get what they need,
Yeah.
to so that they
Take a
can
little
survive
piece of trash.
that, or give a little thing to, do a little thing. So
Right.
anyway, but we just have to act like, is that normal for them? I mean, we've done the whole, let's talk about the warming room. The warming
Ooh.
room. To me, that was probably one of the most successful housing models
Yes, I
that
agree.
we've had.
I agree.
Because although they couldn't stay at the hotels or at the churches and the other buildings,
Yeah.
recreational buildings, for a long extended period of time. But what you saw, if you were there actually working,
Yeah.
okay, because there's a difference. If you were actually there working,
Yeah.
you saw a community of people that came together. If somebody was hungry, they made sure that they were fed.
Yes. Yes.
Although, the city did provide that.
Yeah.
Thank you. But if it was something that they didn't want and it was something else, you saw them communal. You saw them working together.
Yes. Yes.
You saw them advocating for each other.
Absolutely.
So yeah, was it a lot of stuff that happened? Absolutely.
Every time. Every day.
Yeah. You know, it was always a show.
Mm-hmm.
It was always so, but you saw people who band together. If they came in by themselves, they found somebody to link up with.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was going to get resources together, going to eat together,
Yeah.
going to hustle together, or get high together.
Hey.
They found
Right.
somebody to link up with, so that they were not by themselves.
Exactly.
It was when the dismantling of that, it brought a lot of problems or a lot of challenges to housing programs, especially for those that work them. It was a lot of challenges putting people in their own place after they made friends, after they made a family. I just met you, and all of a sudden today, this is my sister.
Yes. Because they feel that rapport, like you
Mm-hmm.
build a rapport with someone. And what I could have lost as a child, as a sibling,
Mm-hmm.
you're filling that void,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I always feel like everything still falls back into a form of grieving, because many of we see them, they literally carrying backpacks on their back,
Mm-hmm.
walking into something, and then they say,
Mm-hmm.
this is all I got.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know what a furniture feels like,
Mm-hmm.
you know
Yeah, I mean, we went into rooms where they rearranged you know, the entire room to fit what they felt was comfortable. You had people that put the mattress on the
on the
floor.
floor. I was going to say, man, they slept on the floor.
Uh
They
huh.
didn't know what a bed actually felt like,
Mm-hmm.
and their process was this, as you said, this is normal to me,
Mm-hmm. Or this is temporary. I don't want to get comfortable because at any time I can get kicked out.
because that's what has happened.
Yep.
Oh wait, we're gonna have to pause, y'all. We're gonna have to pause. Listen, y'all have to stay for part two. Hey, when time goes so fast, because I think the part that we want to focus on now is not only for people understanding, but those of us that are dealing with this, like me, just spilling my guts and talking about being homeless. I think we need to start being more vocal
Mm-hmm.
about things that we've been through, and I believe that will help us mentally. That will help us get that weight off of us.
Yeah.
And even with when we come back, guys, you gotta go. This gonna be a part two thing with me and her. This is gonna be a part two because she has so much knowledge, so much of everything that we didn't even talk about what her grant writing skills and all of this for organizations. That's why she knows so much as well. But we want you all to understand that this is serious. And most importantly, we always use the phrase that we're one paycheck away.
Mm-hmm.
This could be us tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm talking about the anger and the guilt and the shame and and how so many people jump to different things that makes them comfortable, but it's abnormal to us, is because something has affected them. They just didn't wake up and say, "Oh, I want to be homeless today." Oh, what does that feel like? They didn't do that. There was something that happened. Okay, whether it was someone or something. Was it a job? Was it several things? Or like my situation, a domino effect that occurred that had people like, man, this is my new life right now.
Mm-hmm.
So stay for part two. Miss Akira, I'm gonna have you close out part one. Anything you want to say? Is an encouragement. Don't act like you shy.
I'm not
We,
acting
we,
like
we
I'm
on the
shy.
podcast. You acting like you shy.
No, I'm not. But I am nervous.
She did good, y'all. Don't you agree? Is there any encouragement that you want to say to our people?
Mm. I would encourage people who are actually doing the work, and I would say this: um, prioritize yourself. Don't let this work wear you out. Those of us who are purposed to actually do this, we understand the passion. Sometimes it
Mhm.
may feel like aggression to other systems and other organizations and other people, but don't give up on yourself, especially if you know that you're supposed to do this work. Because, sidebar, nobody wanted to work in any of the housing programs at the organization that we worked
No.
at, especially mine, because it was one of the hardest things
Yeah.
to do. But I always tell my staff, if you can do this, if you can work in this, you can work in anything. So that's just encouragement to the people who are doing the housing work. Keep moving
Come
forward.
on, direct service. Yes. Thank you all for joining us. Remember, you won't give up, you won't give in, you will not abort what has been predestined over your life. You will not commit suicide. You will not give in. You will not subdue to what has been spoken, to what has been said, to what even has been negatively presented in front of you. We love you, and but most importantly, God loves you. Until next time, stay tuned.
Peace.